Hello student, today I'm going to teach you how to use triangle rule to find resultant force of forces acting on a body. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to use triangle rule or tip to tail method to find resultant. Okay, because I did not have a video before, so I'm going to show you how to solve this using triangle rule. So in triangle rule, what you need to know is you have to remember the cosine law and also the sine law. Okay, and we have to draw the triangle in order for us to solve to get the resultant force. Okay, now so let's say we have this system. We have one hook and there are two forces acting on it. So we need to find the resultant of these forces, which is equivalent for the summation of these two forces acting on this hook. Alright? So we need to find the resultant. One resultant which is equivalent to these two forces impact on this hook. So what we have to do, the first thing what we have to do is since we need to use a triangle rule, what we need to do is we have to draw the triangle. Because some people, they have difficulty in doing this triangle rule. It's not difficult. Okay, first of all, let's say for this one, I would like to start my triangle rule using this force. Okay, using this 200 Newton force. So I set my base. Okay, now I draw this. I just do it a bit up there. Okay. Right, so this is my point there, right? This is my x-axis. So I start with 30 degree here. 30 degree, whoops. There you go. 30 degree, okay, 30 degree force. 30 degree force with a magnitude of 200 Newton as my first force. And then since it tip to tail, I'm going to add this second force here. So how am I going to do it? If we look here, this force is actually having, the second force 500 Newton is having direction of 70 degree from the x-axis. So 70 degree. So we tip to tail. Tip to tail. So we add with the tail of this 70 degrees force. Sorry, 70 degree, 500 Newton force with the angle of 70 degree. Right? This one is having 30 degree, 200 Newton with 30 degree. This is 200 Newton. But this one is 70 degrees because 30 plus with 40. So then you get 70 degree with 500 Newton force. So now this is how our resultant force looks like. Right. So we need to find what will be the resultant force and also the angle for this resultant. So we need to use triangle rule. To use triangle rule, we need to identify some, especially we need to determine some angle for us to continue with the calculation. Okay. Let's say here, this FR, the opposite angle is here because we need to find R. So we know the cosine rule is FR squared equivalent to, let's say one of the force. Let's say we take this one as a first force, 200 Newton plus with 500 Newton minus 2 times 200 Newton times by 500 Newton times cos. Okay, we need to find what will be the angle that in front of this resultant force. Okay, so since this is 90 degree, so this would be 20, right? And what will be here? This is 90. Okay, so what will be here? This is definitely 30. So total up, the angle here will be 140. Okay. So we'll calculate. Then we'll get our resultant force as 665.74 Newton. So that is your magnitude for your resultant force. So normally the question will ask you to find the resultant force magnitude and also its direction. Alright, so now we have to find direction. So what we will have to use, we have to remember sine law. So we have this force, this is our x-axis, let's say this is our x-axis. So we can see the force is actually going down this x-axis, correct? But we do not know the angle yet. So we need to find the angle of this FR. So the angle of this FR is actually, the angle of this FR is the whole thing here, right? Is that correct? In order to get the whole thing here, this is actually 30 plus, we have to find this angle, alpha. So we have to find that alpha, right? So how are we going to find? If we have this alpha, we have the direction of FR, the complete direction of FR. Okay, this alpha. So we have to use the sine rule. So we use the sine rule. Okay, what does the sine rule says? Okay, sine says we need to find this alpha, right? So this alpha, we can find alpha. The whole thing is alpha. Okay, sorry. This is alpha. Since we say this is alpha. Sorry, yeah. Since we say that this is alpha, if this small is alpha, then the whole thing would be, the magnitude for the direction for the angle of the direction for resultant is the whole thing here. So that will be beta. Beta is equivalent 30 plus alpha. Sorry, just now I'll make a correction. So FR angle is beta. Beta is equivalent to 30 plus alpha. So we need to find alpha here in order for us to get beta. So to get alpha, what we need to do is we have to use sine rule. Okay, sine alpha divided by 500 Newton is equivalent to resultant, equivalent to sine sine 140 divided by FR. By substituting FR, which we get just now, then we'll get our alpha equivalent to 28.9 degree. So therefore our beta is 30 degree plus 28.9 degree equivalent to 58.9 degree. That is our beta. For the final answer, you have to write like this. If you have to find the magnitude and direction of your resultant force, so your final answer, you have to write like this. So your FR is equivalent to 665.74 Newton with the angle of 58.9 degree. That will be your final answer. So you have to write it that way. Okay? So this is how we solve it using triangle rule. You can pick this force 200 as your starting point, Or actually you can also do, if you like it the other way, you can use the 500 Newton with the angle of 70, probably here, with the angle of 70 here, 500 Newton, and then you mix with this one, 30 degree. 30 degree like this. 30 degree, right? 30 degree. So you have to go a little bit further. Okay, so this is 30, your 30 degree. If you do like this, you have to do your calculation again. You have to determine the thing, and you can do your own. You can try you can try to solve it using this method. Okay, that's it. You finding resultant force using triangle rule. Thank you.